cause is still under investigation at this time.
In terms of evacuation, what can you tell us there?
So we have evacuated a number of homes toward the mouth of Provo Canyon and several within Provo Canyon itself.
Are they under direct threat, or is it more as a precaution?
Currently, there are some neighborhoods that are under a direct threat.
What neighborhoods are they? Can you speak specifically?
As far as names, Olmsted is one, the homes within Provo Canyon, and then the area of the old Cascade Golf Course in Orem.
Do you know approximately how many homes there are there?
I can't put a number on that right now.
How long do you plan on having those in place?
It could be through most of the evening.
What are you looking at right now? Do you feel like you're going to have a containment line or anything? What's kind of your strategy going into this evening?
Well, mainly we're looking at two things. We're protecting infrastructure. Orem's water system is up on that hill, as well as homes, so that's our priority. And then traditionally, we do have a breeze shift or a wind shift that's going to occur later this evening. We're preparing for that.
Are there areas that you want folks to avoid so that they can allow fire crews to be working? What streets are those going to be?
Absolutely. Anything from Provo Canyon over to Dry Creek. We had several hunters we had to get out earlier in the day, and we'd like to maintain that through at least through the weekend. This is going to be an extended event.
Do you think it's going to take a couple of days or at least there's time to get some sort of a control under it?
I think this event will be going on for multiple days.
In terms of what folks can do, we know it's dry. You kind of sound like a record player after a while, but what do they need to know about, our conditions and fire warnings?
Well, we had a conversation on the hill just recently. This is October. We typically are not fighting this kind of fire in October. Our fuel moistures are way low for this time of year, so just be cautious when you recreate in the hills.
Now, we've also heard you mentioned it was started near the gun range. Is that something that's under investigation and you get the root cause?
Yes, we are looking into that. Forest Service is going to be doing the investigation. We did have some personnel that were training at the gun range at the time.
Are you worried about the way that this is traveling up the mountainside in terms of the chimneys and the valleys that could really make fire run? Once it gets to the top, is the wind direction going to be a concern to push it possibly this way? Or are you hoping that once it reaches the ridge, it'll kind of be a little bit of a natural?
As far as the ridges on Timpanogos, we aren't really concerned about that. It's going to get up in the scree and in the cliff bands. Ultimately, our concern, you mentioned wind shift. Traditionally, there is a breeze that comes out of that canyon every night. That's why we are evacuating those homes, and we're developing a group of structure protection engines in the event that does occur. It's an estimation. I would put between 100 to 120 right now.
So obviously there's a lot of air resources. I suppose the helicopters, air attack up high. I just saw this like a little bit. At what point are you going to say no more air resources? Is there a policy about that? I know some places it's said, others it's set line.
That would be a better question for the air controllers. I can't really answer that for you.
What kind of fuels are burning up there?
Mostly light fuels, grass, cheatgrass, and then gamble oak or scrub oak.
Are you worried about it getting into any of these heavier fuels? Just up, I'm kind of getting my bearings too, but are you worried about the heavier fuels as it progresses up higher in elevation?
No, the higher it gets, the less fuels it's going to have once we get out of the oaks.
You said this was going to be a multiple-day event. When it comes to what the people of Orem should be prepared to see, I mean, obviously this is not see a big plume behind you. What is your message to those people that drive down and see something that looks very scary?
Well, we've continued to have multiple calls into our 911 center. It is an event we're actively working, so please don't call it in. This is going to be a Type 3 event or incident by the end of the night. And so you're going to see lots of resources from all over the state and maybe some from outside of the state that are going to be centralized in this northeastern part of town. So don't congregate in this area.
When it comes to a mutual aid system, from all that I understand, Utah is one of the best in the entire country. Can you touch on that a little bit?
So absolutely. Our initial response on this fire was Orem, Provo, America Fork, Pleasant Grove, Utah County, and then from the state we had the BLM and the Forest Service. And those were all on initial mutual aid agreements. Now, a lot of those units have been started to be released, and as this goes into an extended attack, we'll start to pull units from different areas.
And we know that you also had mentioned there's those evacuations. Do you have evacuation centers that are going to be going up, or at this time are you?
There will be. They're not established at this time. but our emergency management group is working on that right now.
Likely through the Red Cross, is that what you're thinking?
Yes, Red Cross will be a part of that.
All right, thank you.
People want to know, earlier when I was out here around 1 o'clock, there were only 2 helicopters out here fighting the fire. Now you've got like 4 airplanes out here and 3 or 4 helicopters. Why did it take so long for all the resources to get here?
So we call resources what's called a run card. And so that's what is initially on our run card. When we make initial request, that's what gets spun up initially, and then we grow from there. That's why you kind of have a staggered response.
Is that the equivalent of like a 2-alarm, 3-alarm fire, basically? It's set.
Yeah, essentially, yep.
Were certain resources difficult to get out here earlier today, or?
No, not in the short term. In the long term, we are concerned. There's still a lot of resources. We have everybody's been aware of what's going on in California, and they have sucked up a lot of the resources out of the western U.S. So the extended attack is going to be a concern.
Thank you so much.
And is it pretty windy? Is that what's blowing it to the east right now up there?
That's affirmative. The wind we're experiencing down here is significantly less than what's up on the hill, and that is what's driving it toward the canyon. Any other questions? All right, we'll go ahead and wrap this up.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it.
Yes. You ready? So it's Sean Hurst, SHAUN HIRST, and I'm a battalion chief with Orem Fire Department.
And I might have missed your first sentence. Could you just give me a very basic rundown?
Okay. So just before noon, we responded to a fire that was reported just above the gun range near our water treatment plant. We responded with an initial complement of our city, as well as American Fork, Provo, Utah County, the BLM, and the Forest Service in Pleasant Grove. Yep.